Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Tom Mizu. You watching my channel, E14, and I'm here doing a review of Married to Medicine, Season 6, Episode 14. Next week is the season finale, which I feel that, I'm looking forward to the finale and the reunion. I don't know. Feel like it was just not enough episodes to tie everything together, but it was a good season so far. But I just could believe it could be more. But let's jump right into it. I'm just gonna talk about it's a couple of things I really want to stress on. So the other little scenes I'm gonna talk about real quickly is that the beginning scene, Dr. Jackie messed with Jessica Dine and Sean. Y'all know they from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and you know they together and they're having a baby. And I could have sworn they had the baby already, but so I don't know what the timeline is. But she's about to pop, like she's ready. Her stomach is big up there. Her baby's moving. And she don't really know about the contractions. She said, I don't know what that look like. She said, if you got to ask that, you never had no contractions because you wouldn't know if you had one. Which I said, that's true. And they're going to have a weekly visit until she ready to get the baby. So I was like, oh, go ahead, Dr. Jackie, live with these celebrity babies. But it was nice that she had that. But what I got from that scene, she said that because her and Curtis working things out and they getting a better space, she said one thing that was messed up in last time and that caused turmoil in their marriage is that she was working too much. So she said she spending less time working, it's more time with her husband, which is giving that more bonding time. Because sometimes when you careers and you have family, time and commitment and sharing with your family is just as important as you getting financial income. So if you could make the time with your family, it helps create memories with your loved ones and stuff like that. I don't feel like you always choose your work over them, even though you know you have to pay the bills and stuff like that. But still, also sometimes you gotta understand that your family needs your attention as well. So that was a nice thing I got from that. A nice little other scene that we get is that Contessa and Scott with the kids, and they was doing hair. Scott was doing one of the daughter's hair. Contessa was doing the other daughter's hair. And, you know, Landon, the son, he got a haircut, so he didn't really nothing so much to do. But they were just chilling and everything, and just talking and have a good family time. And the kids was drawing and stuff like that. And they say they want to call, the kids want to call their pop. So Contessa's father, and so she called father, they talk on the phone. Well, we got that he's coming in 2 weeks from the date they called, and she gonna get the ticket for him, and he gonna be there and spend time with his grandchildren and her. She's misses him, the kids misses him, and they have a good time. And it seems like the relationship is back together, because she said when growing up he wasn't really a father, but now he's learning. And it's like sometimes these events happen that make people change. So I guess it was nice for her father get to that point where she don't really hold in too much of that resentment or hurt towards him, and try to use the time that he have left to build relationship and memories for her and him, and also with her and her children. So it was like, that's nice. Alright, so we get Toya. Toya went to plan a girls trip. So she said she gonna call every girl, she write all the ladies, because she said we had a girls trip and she wanted to plan this. And Simone said, you think you should be the one who wanted to plan this? Like, it happened good the last time with Antigua. And she said, yeah, she made some mistakes, and she want to get a second chance to right her wrongs and plan a girl trip. She gonna fight every girl, even though Contessa and her don't get along. She hoped that she would come and have a good time and not have much drama. So all the girls that eventually did show up, but I'm gonna get to that trip later. Now, before I get to Cecil Simone, I'm gonna talk about the Mariah and her daughter Lauren. You know, Lauren wanted to upgrade her wardrobe because she felt like she don't want to be too much of that little young girl anymore. She going to high school. So yeah, she want to be a teenager, getting a little bit older, get more to herself, feel her identity, and mature enough, so she won't be considered as a little girl too much. And a part of that is to upgrade your wardrobe. Sometimes you get away with the kid stuff and get some more of her body, become a young lady. And so Mariah had a guy named Anthony come down her living room and brought some clothes racks of different girls' clothes. And they're having a good time, and Lauren was looking at some things, and she had some sense of style. Mariah had some kind of, she said, oh, your back will be out, this is that. And Lauren said, Mom, come on. Anthony said, go drink. She's like, I'll drink to that. We try to cut this going down. And some of the outfits that Lauren dresses, it was nice. It was nice little girl stuff, and it didn't feel like it wasn't too much revealing. But also grown enough for her to feel like she's not a child and she's not wearing kids' clothes like that. So she said she want to be more dressy, not too much of t-shirts and pants like that, or shirt and pants. She want to be more dressy. So she tried a lot of dress clothes and stuff like that, and it was really good kind of thing. She got working on heels. I said, oh, and just acting like a lady. You could tell Mariah and Aiden did a good job with Lauren, because she could tell she very respectful and treat herself, and she could tell she could know her worth and know her value and act like a lady. And so like that, that's really nice. And she sat proper like this, and they said yes. It was like, yeah, she's doing it. She's doing it good. And I just like how she was trying different clothes, and she liked that. And then one of the things I wasn't care for with that freaking short skirt, and Lauren definitely loved it. And I said, oh, that was kind of a little too short, but hey, she loves it and is happy. And I'm glad to see her and Mariah bond and smile and take care, because Mariah said it's just tough, and she said how she became a woman when she had Lauren, and it just been so great feelings, and see her growing up. She don't want her to grow up, but she know it's have to, and to see her grow and becoming a young woman herself, she liked that. She will experience the journey and not trade anything in the world for her. So that was nice. I love it. Now, what was it? Yeah, so we get the scene with Dr. Heavenly and Mariah. So Dr. Heavenly last week talked to her counselor last week, Dr. K, about meeting Mariah, because she said it's time to meet. So she chose a church of all the places to sit down, because she said it had to go well, because you don't want us going crazy. So we was going to sit down in the church, and it should not stray too far off and go over the board because we in the church. So they sat down, and Mariah, and they had 2 seats in between each other. They was talking, and I mean, they really go too deep into why they can't stand each other. I wanted to know more. Maybe in the reunion we get more information on why they didn't really get along. I mean, Mariah said that when she first came to see Heavenly really didn't care for her straight off the bat, which I kind of agree, because she said if you say now you realize that Mariah is kind of close to or resembles your sister or reminds you of your sister, maybe that's why you probably didn't even get along with Mariah, because she reminds so much of your sister, and maybe because Mariah is beautiful, whatever, more attractive, people liked her more, you was this, that, consider this, whatever it is the reason. But it's that's the reason why you couldn't understand, because Heavenly said, no, that's not true, that's true. I said, what is it? But I want to know what is it, because y'all really wasn't explaining much of why y'all couldn't stand for each other, other than the fact that y'all didn't give each other a chance. Y'all didn't get a chance to know each other and sit down and get to know each other personalities, their wants, their dreams, anything about the person. Y'all just went off the back judgment, and then straight from there y'all just didn't really care for each other. So they both agreed to admit their faults. They both had a hand into dismantle of their kind of fragile friendship they had together, and they gonna try to work on it. Remember, one time Heavenly got too excited, she started cursing. She said, "Hey, this is the fucking in the bitch." I was like, "Ooh." And Mariah said, "Heavenly." And so Heavenly, see, girl, calm your ass down. It was nothing for you to get all hype about. But she calmed herself down. She caught herself. It was like, but yeah, I wish they would have spent more time in explaining what went wrong between those two. And hopefully this reunion come about. But they say they're going to move forward. They say they're going to work on each other. They say they're going to not dwell on the past and build a better relationship towards each other. So I guess Heavenly said, "Can I call you?" And Mariah said, "No, just text me first." She said, "Just calling." She playing. So I guess it's cool. And Mariah was she was taken aback at why she had to sit down, but she glad she had a call from Heavenly and get to sit down and talk. And she appreciate the gesture and wanted to mend the friction between those two. And I enjoyed that. And like I said, it wasn't too much dive deep into relationship, into the freaking tension between those two. And I guess Heavenly this said that Mariah was lying on her, and she said she don't like to be lied to. That's what she had problem with Mariah. Mariah said, "What I lying about? What I lied to?" And yes, maybe Mariah was lying so much about. Well, she said she apologized for bringing that stuff up, but she never really apologized for saying that Damon did it. Because she said, whatever you do in your own little spare time, it should not for me to see the blessing out there. So it's not really like she negate what she was saying. She just said she shouldn't have been saying it in the first place, because she repeated what she was heard. So, but she's not even had to lie on you and all that stuff. And that's when Heavenly started going more about her sister, how you mind sister that I was more studious and she was carefree and stuff. And Mariah said, I don't know the similarities between me with your sister, but it's something we could come to agree and talk about and sit down and discuss this. And the fact that you didn't give me a chance is the reason why we never really got along with each other. And that's what Mariah's first question asked. She said, can you tell me what did I did to you that got you pissed off so I would never do it again? And that's when we go to the whole lying thing. But that was really, really soft because they agreed to disagree on this issue. And other than that, it wasn't that much deep into the conversation of why they feel this way. Maybe Heavenly could have gone deeper about what's much of the similarities of her sister that Mariah reminded her of, and why they never got along, and why she projected her sister on Mariah. And maybe Mariah can explain more of her side and why she didn't feel about Heavenly. So I guess it really boils down to it. They never gave each other a chance to know each other, and since then they never gave each other a chance to know each other and sat down. I guess they butted heads since the beginning, and I believe that. And remember, I didn't really see Married to Medicine since in the first beginning of the season. I only started Married to Medicine since last season, so I don't know much of the tension, but I know from last season that Mariah and Heavenly wasn't really getting along like that. So hopefully hopefully they work out their friendship, and hopefully they mend their reasons. Hopefully in a reunion we could dive deeper, and then hopefully for the future seasons they could get along. And it won't be an enemy between Mariah and Heavenly. And I guess that's what we need to look forward to. I want to see maturity and growth. And I guess in some way they's maturing. So I guess we're going to see the results later on in the future. Alright, now. Cecil Simone before I go on this trip. Okay. This scene was like totally went left and confusing to me. Because the last couple of weeks, Simone and Cecil was getting along. They was talking. They was trying to build a relationship back together. He moved back in the house last week. They was happy. They having more sex. I mean, even though it revealed that he's been the initiator of the sex, and she was doing it, but everything was cool, Danny. So we all thought. And then we had the seashell scene at the trip where she planned it, and she texted everyone to put something negative about something you would like to work in your marriage, that you would let it go, throw in the shell and put it in the ocean and let it go, and you can move forward for that. And Simone's thing was she needs to let go of that hurt and the thing, bitterness and resentment towards the feeling of that friend that Cecil had. And then Cecil told us that he cut the friend off for the sake of better relationship. Simone agrees. I think he said in the confessional or something like that. She was there, so it was confirmed. So when we had to sit down, everything was starting going good. They had a good little talk, and all of a sudden, to talk about her feelings and how Cecil didn't understand how she was coming from or what she would feel about the situation, about his having an emotional connection with his friend, and how she was staying at the house too much. He went out to dinner, but she was going through a lot of tough time that week, uncle or something like that, and she needed him home, but he decided to go out and all that stuff. And I understand emotional attachment to somebody else other than your spouse It's kind of like cheating than the physical. Even though you haven't physically did cheating, the emotional attachment with somebody else is also just as wrong, because once you put your emotion into with somebody else, you starting to lose the emotion with your wife, and then you start to withdrawn from your wife feelings and starting to get attached emotionally to the other one, and then that emotion could lead to physical and anything else. So I understand the hurt that Simone's going through, because you don't want that to happen. Like, you have this whole person with you withdrawn from you, but yet you need that person to be there and to talk to, all that stuff like that. It's, even though Simone is a handful, she is a handful to deal with. And I understand why Cecil feel like he can't talk to his wife like that, because sometimes she really don't want to listen to anybody else but hear her own voice. So, but at the same time, that Tammy situation was that you mentioned today, basically was on the road for them to get divorced, because she was the file for it. Now, she was arguing and said, oh, I filed a divorce, you didn't file a divorce, and the Tammy situation. And then Cecil was kind of confused, because he said, what happened? I was confused too. I was like, what? And basically, he was saying something, and she thought he was making excuses for her. And I would say Cecil wasn't really making excuses for you, Simone. He wasn't making excuses for her. He was explaining the situation, and when he was trying to talk, she wasn't even letting him talk. And she said, if you're going to make excuses, you're going to make excuses for this bitch, and she destroyed it, and this is that, and this guy love. She said, I had a love letter for you, and I didn't get to read it because you must. I was like, girl, if you had a love letter for them, you could have read that and started off with that. Why you went through this whole tangent? This is the problem I have with this. You say you want to go let go and try to move on with the relationship. Y'all moved in together. You didn't go through divorce, all that stuff. So for all of y'all to heal, to move forward, you had to let that go. Nobody said you got to forget what happened or negate your feelings or what the situation. But for y'all to move forward and for Caesar to move forward, you need to let that go and not keep bringing that up every time you have feelings, because you're projecting your feelings onto him and make him feel like he need to feel exactly how you feel. Or you need to say you were hurt by the situation, and he will understand, because he made ties and he cut her off. His best friend he been knowing for a long time, he cut her off for the sake of you. So he has shown some initiative to work on your marriage, and that's what lets you to believe so you can move in with her. Because if you wasn't really ready to move forward, or you wasn't really accepting, or you didn't believe his actions and stuff, you would not move with him. You wasn't even trying to move back with each other. You would still have two separate houses so you could get yourself together. So this kind of scene with me was kind of off-putting, because I was like, really, Simone? Like, you went off the tangent. I'm not going to say she was on menopause. I'm not going to say none of that stuff. All I want to say is that she wasn't letting go, and she did not let go. So that whole seashell confession she did was pointless, because she was still holding on to it. Nobody says she got to let go, and nobody says it's going to be easy to thing. But for you for heal, not for the benefit of your marriage, but also benefit yourself, Simone. You gotta stop holding that grudge for so long. You will use that as your leverage and make him feel bad so you can leave or something like that. And I feel like Simone was angry about something else than that Tammy situation, because it was kind of left field, because you was gonna let that go. What? Let that go, all that stuff. So. And then she went along and said that she had they continued arguing to the way home and stuff, because it was well left field, and I did not like that. Simone, you was wrong. You went off the tangent for no damn reason. I don't understand your reason for bringing this up now. This was the past. If you was gonna let the past be the past, and you say you was gonna move forward from now. And none of the stuff that it was explained happened recently. So it was happened last year. Y'all have trying to move forward for that. Y'all decided to stay together. So why bring that up now in a dinner? And the dinner scene as that, you could have just like, if you want to go have a sit down with something and explain more of your feelings, so you could have did something else. You could have read that love poem. You could have set the mood there, but you wanted to pick a fight with Cecil so you could be angry and still feel like he didn't understand your feelings, all that stuff like that. I guess he do understand your feelings, because if he didn't really understand your feelings, he would say, fuck you, I'm staying with Tammy, all that stuff like that. He didn't. He understand it, and he cut her off. So it was action was presented to your situation. So I didn't even understand why you need to bring that up again. Maybe somebody can explain to me in the comments. But understand Simone's hurt. Understand what happened with that Tammy situation was still fresh. It's still a year ago, so it's still not that. But if you're gonna move forward, move forward. But if not, if you're gonna keep holding on to this, then it's not for you to see us to be together anymore because you're not gonna let that go. And Dr. Jackie was right. Simone has a habit of holding resentment and grudge for a long time. If she don't let that go, there ain't no need for Cecil and her to be together because it's still always going to be resurfacing. And every time it's going to be resurfacing, she never going to be satisfied. She always going to be unhappy, and that's not a good way for a relationship to last. Now, moving on to the trip. So it was the Miami trip. All the ladies did show up. Quan was on time, so they made a big deal about Quan being on time, so it was good. Toya started making a drink already, a cocktail. So they were sitting in the bus and they're having a drink. Now, they started exercise. Well, last year, the girls' trip, they had to sit down and they talk about one thing they would like to change in themselves and work on themselves. So Simone went first. She said she needs to learn how to have more patience with her friends, be less loud, and stop cursing at them. And they all made fun and in confessionals about Simone antics and stuff like that. Now, we had Quad. Quad said she could be extremely stubborn, which we could see sometimes. I mean, we all see that Quad could be stubborn. Like, she had that stubbornness on her, and I could tell she has that. So that's no doubt that's a problem. Now, they went to Contessa, and I said, of course, it's like all these people in between, y'all went straight to Contessa and jump around. Like, why they wouldn't go down to every woman? It's like that. Going around like this way. Yeah, just with Simone, then went to Quad, and then jumped to Contessa when she was all over here. It was like, you skip Jackie, you skip Mariah didn't go. Who else was next? And Dr. Chavin didn't go. All the other people didn't go. Alright, so Contessa said she needs to learn how to meet people halfway and meet them where they're at and not take it to where she is, because she got the military mindset. And I guess the military is like, they don't take no nonsense no matter what. So if they here, they take it here. It's like they don't go that little stuff. We're not dealing with this. You got a problem, cutting you off. They had the strict military mindset. So understand that. So I guess she was explaining that, and I guess the woman didn't really feel like she was really saying anything about herself that she wanted to change. I guess she was mostly blaming other people and how she reacts. And each his own. Somehow it led to Toya and Contessa going at it. Because Toya said Scott is a liar. And it's explained to the thing about the hitting the breast. And what Contessa was right. If it was an accident, and they say the accident, you did not go and check up on her. That would kind of just escalate everything that happened. All this argument back and forth, everything would have been escalated if you would have go check on her. You was the host of the trip. If somebody in your trip got hurt, you as the host should have checked on the person. No matter if you like them or not. They was on your trip, you invited them to the trip, you was responsible to check up on them. So whatever your reason, Dr. Scott came downstairs. He said whatever happened. He didn't really purposely say your elbow hit her. He said maybe your elbow hit her or something like that. Whatever. She said it wasn't my elbow, it was my hand. He said okay, whatever it was, it hit. At the end of the day, you would hit my wife in the chest. At the end of the day, it was your elbow, your hand. You hit my wife in the chest. So I don't think he was really lying and saying that she purposely elbowed her. He said it was an altercation that something happened and you hit it back. And you had a reaction, and you hit Contessa in the breast, and it got swollen. If you was really concerned, Toya, like you say you are, and you're not that type of person, you should have had checked them on. It said, "Oh, you okay? I heard what happened. Your husband came downstairs." Instead of getting offensive about it, you should went upstairs and say, "Let me go check out with Contessa before we go to this on a van to that dinner." And that's what all the discuss escalated, but it didn't happen. It kept festering. You had the feelings about it. You had a blowout, all that stuff. And they was going back and forth, And it seemed like you calling my husband lying, you calling my host lying. It seemed like you want to get chucked out. Fuck out of here. That's the military background. It's just like, you know what? We all got all this talking back and forth. You seem like you want to get choked out. And Toya got up and was trying to fight her. And Contessa was like, cool, calm, and collected. And said, oh, you want to do this? No, we ain't going to do this, all that stuff. So basically she went to the other side and said, Lord, keep my husband out your mouth. And she said, "Watch your words," because Toya was calling her bitches and stuff like that. She said, "Watch your words and keep my husband out of your mouth. He not a liar." And this shut Toya up. So the tension between those two is still there. It's like that. And like I said, yes, if Toya would have checked with Contessa, it would have been all peachy clean. It wouldn't have been any misconception. She would have probably asked Toya right then and there, did it happen, all that stuff. And Toya could say no. I said, okay, y'all squash the beef, all that stuff. It would have not been going on. But since the second TV, they had to extend that. So that's what it was. Now, they went to out the thing, went to get some drinks. They was drinking a little more. Jackie didn't want to drink any wine. Having to say, you can drink a drink. Come on, you can drink a wine. You can drink a wine. You can come on, drink a wine. Jackie was not having it. She said, "Who the hell be sold enough to check y'all bitches or hand y'all bitches? We all were drinking." I be with Dr. Jackie. I would at least took a sip or something like gosh, but hey, Dr. Jackie is Dr. Jackie. So they went outside and Contessa said something. I mean, I don't know how I feel about the situation. Maybe because since Toya brought her husband in and saying her husband's a liar, Contessa wanted to come in and say something about her husband and bring husband into it. Because if you bring her husband, you got to go on your husband. There's no people off limits when you start arguing with each other. So off the bat, she said something about how, yeah, you're talking about the weight and you this and he knows the weight, but it seems like you got the same weight as him and you have the same BMI. I said, oh shit. And I don't know, maybe that was off putting because I was saying why you go to that tangent like that. And then Quad got upset. It's like, that's not like you was wrong. Everybody knows she didn't do it on purpose. It was not her character to do all that stuff like that. And maybe because that's the confession said maybe I probably was took it over the top. But it's put everything in perspective, the whole picture. So if she was over the top and maybe she said was wrong, I don't know, maybe she shouldn't have said that BMI, the weight thing, just to get back at Toya. But hey, Toya was jabbing at Contessa for a long time, and Contessa was going back. So if you can't handle the heat, that's it. But maybe she shouldn't have said that. Contessa shouldn't have said that. And maybe, yes, I don't believe Toya did it on purpose. But I can understand Contessa coming from. You couldn't check up on her. That could have escalate everything if you check up on her. Alright, and the last thing, Aiden is sick. He got viral meningitis. Praying for Aiden to good recovery. Hope he doesn't get worse than what he is. He said he got a headache. Mariah was on call. He was calling. He said he got a major headache. It was getting worse. He got admitted in the hospital. He went to the ER. They admitted him, and they say he got viral meningitis. And it could be, Contessa explained what it was, but it's something that could be serious if you don't have it been treated or taken care of early. So hopefully, they got it, detected it, they make the surgery, whatever he had to go through, and he recovers. Because this is tough to have your loved one go through hospital like that for something that could be really deadly, and death could be one of the symptoms of this virus he has. So praying for Mariah and Aiden. Hope everything works out well. Next week's the finale. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Tell me what your thoughts about this episode, and I'll see you all next week. Peace.